determination, passion, stamina, and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment, and by Proform, Elite Texas Graphics, live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Alex Simpson, Tyler Maxons here for this round of the Season 14, round number 7. I'm getting contradictory seasons. I'm seeing Season 13 on YouTube, so maybe someone can correct me in the chat. But Tyler, good to have you back. We'll be joined by Tyler Vickery a bit later on as well. I think he's just trying to fire it home from work right now as well. But last week, of course, Bathurst, what a great circuit. We've had some good races, if my memory serves me right, in this particular series. How was it last week?
Yeah, it was a great race last week. Very interesting in both classes. Really close in the ST class. The GS class a little bit more spread out, but still great racing all through the field.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Ricmotech and Proform Elite Texas Graphics, of course, for sponsoring the series. Thank you, guys. And we hope that we can continue with good support, and looking forward to seeing how the series represents in this race. I mean, Laguna Seca, pretty iconic circuit, known just about everywhere in the world, of course, for probably one of the most famous corners in all of motor racing, the corkscrew. Very, very tricky to take on and tackle and get it absolutely bang on. So many different lines through there. You ever driven it in real life?
No, I've never driven in real life, but I've heard about it, and they say it's an absolutely amazing corner. You drop over 3 stories in height in just about 100 and something feet, so it's an incredible corner, I've heard.
I don't think you really get the appreciation of that in the sim. I wonder if the people that are maybe on like VR and things like that do. But yeah, exactly. The track just drops away. I bet your stomach absolutely falls out from underneath you as well. So if you're at all queasy, it's probably not the best place to go.
No, definitely not. I've heard it's a very quick corner, though, so you kind of just get in it and get out of it, and there's not really much to it like most people think that there is. It's a very simple corner, actually.
Looking at the series standings right now, Arinom leads the way on 222 points, with Patty and Nucci on 174. Then it's Mike Dam, Tyler Schiffler, Kevin Ford, Robert Harley all the way down in 7th place. Brandon Whitworth having good series as well. So Nom doing his thing once again, Tyler, in GS class.
Yeah, just doing his thing and really doing a great job. He swept the series so far this year. Trying to pull up all the stuff that you're looking at here on my phone. But, yeah, Dom has done an absolutely amazing job this season, and really, it's going to be a tough one to beat.
Yeah, and just looking at ST Pro, 189 points for Travis Finke, Jim List 187, and we've got John Allen 175. Pretty close in ST Pro as well. And of course, you'll just because we've had those little issues, you'll just have to change your OBS stream room name to Ricmotech as well. And then you'll see all the on-screen graphics, Tyler. And that just as a shout-out and a reminder as well, if you are looking for the live timing tonight, just add a 1 onto the room name like we normally do. Just had a small issue with our main room for the broadcast software and the live timing software. So everything's on Ricmotech 1 tonight, rather than that's the number 1, not the letter, not the word. Looking at ST Open, 134 points. Derek Holland, Jacob Beasley, not too far behind. Then it's Elvis Rankin, Bobby Charles, Lewis Looper. All pretty close there. Actually, even Michael Key and Edgar Santinelli are fairly close. Still everything to play for in ST Open. And finally, in terms of the championship standing, it's GS Open. And Cameron Bidwell leading the way. Just 3 points clear from Michael Monaghan, and Steve Daniel a further 3 points back from him.
Yeah, very close all through the standings and pretty much every single class. So it's really all to play for still with, I believe, 5 rounds left to go in the season. So it's definitely going to be all to play for these drivers, and they got to really start stepping it up with the points and taking a little bit more risk because they're kind of on the latter part of the season. So I think that's what we're going to start seeing soon.
And did you manage to get your OBS connected okay? Have you now got the graphics showing up?
Yeah, I got everything showing up, thanks.
Awesome stuff. Right, big shout out to everybody who's going to be, who's watching now as well. Thank you for joining us so early. And while you're here, please share the love. Give us a like on Facebook and give us a like on YouTube as well. Of course, we're streaming on 3 platforms tonight. We're on Twitch as well. So, if you fancy something a bit different, or you're having issues or whatnot like that, you want a different platform, quite prefer Facebook over YouTube or Twitch, then we are broadcasting on all 3. So share your love on all of them. That'd be greatly appreciated. What do you think is going to be the key for this race, Tyler? I mean, just a 60-minute race, of course. 1 pit stop. It's a pretty tight, narrow track. Do we think traffic is going to be the main thing? Negotiating traffic in terms of obviously getting through it for the GS and actually not losing time when the GS class is coming through the ST?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a difficult one for those drivers to try to get through the traffic. The circuit here is a very small circuit, and there's in areas where you really even can't get by them. So it's definitely going to be something difficult, but I think the biggest thing here is going to be the draft because there's a lot of straightaways here, and there's not many corners. And the corners that we do have are very fast, sweeping corners, so you're really not in any areas but a few that you really slow down a lot of speed. So I think there's going to be a lot of draft, a lot of game playing here, and you've also got to time that pit stop just perfectly.
Just looking at sort of temperatures out there, 21 degrees. It's not too hot, actually, so tyres should last. But, of course, we do have clear skies, so that might play an impact because I imagine track temp. I can't quite see the track temp, but I imagine it's going to be pretty hot out there. So that's something that, the guys are going to have to manage, and maybe where they might have just opted for 2 tyres or no tyres and just fuel, they might end up taking all 4. So we'll have to see what they do. And you never know if the extra rubber just might give them the extra advantage they need to get a move done.
Yeah, if anything, as any old races are anything to go by, these drivers will all be taking 2 tires each because that's pretty much what we've seen all across the board, except for a few who have taken 3 tires, but qualifying there just ending for these drivers.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the official grid status to come up, and we can bring that up on screen. Here we go. I wonder if you wouldn't mind doing the honours for this one, Tyler.
Yeah, sure. Mike Dam starts on the pole alongside Rob Hartley. Aero Nam in P3 alongside Kevin Ford, Patty Annucci, and Tyler Shiflett. Clint Vigas 7th, Leon Wright 8th. Brandon Whitworth and Jacob Catalina round out your top 10. Jeff Jacobs, Russ Ruddock 11th and 12th. Michael Moningham and Steve Daniel, 13th and 14th. They round out your GS field. John Allen and Travis Swinky on the front row in the ST standing. Sorry, Bobby Childs and Lydell McMurphy, 3 and 4. David Payton and Eric Violet, 5 and 6. Bobby Childs, Lyndall McMurphy, David Payton, Eric Violet, Jacob Beasley, Elvis Rankin, Chris Thorman, Jordy Fike, Lewis Loper, Derek Holland, Edgar Sancinelli, Michael Key, Lewis Loper, Derek Holland, Eric Sancinelli, Edgar Sancinelli, Michael Key, Patrick Previs, and Rob Cobb. They round out your ST grid here in the deserts of California.
And of course, the overlay just tricking you there because it doesn't quite do it right to the top page, does it? We'll have to correct that actually for the next week because it is a bit weird that it only jumps about 6 places. But yeah, thank you very much for that. Pretty decent field out there, 29 cars. Ryan Cobb obviously is our admin for the day. One of the few circuits where we have a full pace lap.
Yeah, one of the very few circuits now, I think, on iRacing that we have a full pace lap, but a full pace lap indeed. It'll give these drivers just enough time to get heat in the tires and heat in the engine before we go green here this afternoon.
We're having a few issues with trading paints as well. Suddenly not uploading. Let's see if we can get this rectified on the pace lap. Some cars popping in, and of course we've got the new safety stroke pace car as well now with the Porsche out there. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a lot better looking than its last one. It definitely looks quite good in my opinion, but it's definitely a nice needed change. I think we had the old one for quite a while, so I think it looks nice having something new out front.
Mm-hmm. Just hearing on the chat as well from Aeronorm that the track temperature is very high out there and not a lot of grip at all. And actually you can see a lot of the dust and everything. Look at that. Offline, and the driver's having to drive through it right now on the pace lap. So it happens quite a lot here, I believe, at Laguna. You know, just constantly there's just gets kicked up. So gonna want to stay on the racing line for the most part of this race. I would think it's going to be difficult to get the moves done. The marbles and dust and things like that are going to make it particularly slippy out there. So yeah, very interesting race ahead of us, I feel.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's also going to play a big factor in how these guys are going to get through the traffic, because if they're all offline, then it's easy to misjudge the next corner and just slide off the track. So these guys are going to really have to be focused while they're going through traffic and not let themselves get caught out, especially going through some of those corners where we're seeing a lot of dust, and there's a lot of dust coming off the corkscrew. So definitely going to be an interesting and hard time getting through the traffic this afternoon, I think, for the GS class.
Pace car ducks itself in, around this final corner. Mike Dam's going to get us away for what is round number 7 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here at Laguna Seca. Lights are out, we're racing, and it's an absolute lion start for Rob Hartley actually round the outside. He's having a little look. We've got Aero Nom as well trying to capitalise, see if he can nick a place very early on. It's extremely tight. I think Hartley's going to have him covered. And Kevin Ford gets a good run, maybe having a little look up the inside of Nom. Oh, that's close. They're all through the first couple of corners, no problem. What's going on in the MX-5s, Tyler?
John Allen leads them down the straightaway. They're all pretty much 2x2 all the way down. Pretty much Travis Swinky, John Allen into turn 1. Everyone's staying 2x2. Nobody really trying to make any sort of moves right now. Bobby Childs slips up into P2. Travis Swinky's off, and oh, there's contact. Big contact for Travis Swinky. He's off into the wall. And I believe that was Dave Payton as well. So those two guys started quite high up the field, and now they are way down the field with a lot of work to do this afternoon.
Well, that's the dust and the rubbish that's just on the circuit there, and Tyler just picking it up very, very early, gets the car out of shape, and major. All of a sudden, from absolutely right on the front of the grid to pretty much the very back. So yeah, not the start he wants, but and of course that separated the pack up a little bit. I feel like they're all still well within slipstream range, so not going to be too major of an issue, but yeah. Huge for the STs. Normally so patient.
Yeah, huge incident. This class is usually a class that's very calm on the first lap, but that is not what we've seen this afternoon. But Mike Dam still leads over Rob Hartley in the GS class.
We haven't seen Nom have to work his way through the pack too much this season. He's normally sort of led from the front, so he's going to have a taller or more challenging task on his hands this time. So we'll see how he copes with that, and it'll make a change, I think, for him, because he's quite constantly saying, the guys are fuel saving behind him, but he'll be able to do that to them, of course. So maybe try and sort of set them up towards the pit stop phase. I'm talking ahead of myself already. He might even just go for it. Runs a little wide though, in fairness. So does Patty Nucci behind him as well. So kicking up some more dust onto that circuit too.
Yeah, I think as the race goes on, we're just going to see more and more and more dust get kicked up onto the circuit. As you can see, Rob Hartley gets a little loose out of the corkscrew. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a big challenge for these guys, keeping the car on the track and keeping those tires clean, because if you don't have them clean, then it can really hurt you. So it's almost worth giving up a tenth or two going into the corner so that you don't lose all that time on the exit by going off and getting all your tires dirty in the dirt.
And of course, if you haven't watched this series before and want to know what the different colour on the left-hand side is all about, so GS is your blue, and that's the Mustangs, and ST is your Mazdas in the green. And there is actually an open and pro category in there as well. I just very, very quickly change it over. It might show it, it might not. No, it won't. So do apologize. But yeah, so there is like a lighter green color as well that you can have. And let me see if I can find one of the drivers that's on there. There we go. So the slightly lighter green. If we ever show it like this, you can see who the top open drivers are right now as well. So Childs leads the way from McMurphy. The other thing as well that often pops up and drivers or spectators sometimes want to know about is what is the little red flash that sometimes shows on the timing tower. There you go, we've got a couple of them right now. And it's pretty easy to tell what that is because we just saw the drivers off the track. And that's just indicating that they've had an off. But good little battle here, really. Alan actually is starting to stretch away a bit, Tyler. 1 second in the lead now, and then you've got this little cluster behind that are very close.
Yeah, very close between pretty much 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, John Allen has got a lead right now, but those guys are going to be pretty much in a battle for second. So if these guys decide to push, they can possibly catch John Allen. But if these guys start to battle, I think that you're just going to see John Allen just extend his lead more and more and more to the point to where you just can't catch him.
Yeah, he's been very, very quick this season already, so if he gets an opportunity to pull away, he's going to take it, that's for sure. It's very rare that we see in the opening laps the driver pull away to break the draft. I mean, it's 1.6 seconds. That's about the limit, I think, that I've seen in this car, so they really need to start pulling him in now, or, like you say, they're going to lose the draft, and all of a sudden, we're going to see a very, very different strategic race take place because it's quite rare that they pull away.
Yeah,
traffic obviously will make a big difference. Sorry, Tyler, there too as well, because once traffic starts coming through, it could be that they could bunch back up again. It often does happen.
Yeah, they could definitely all start bunching back up again. They can also extend them out again, so it's a very up in the air whether it happens whenever they go through traffic. But yeah, just like what you said, about 1.6 seconds is pretty much the most I've ever seen in these cars a draft be able to pull. Once you get out of that range, which right now he is at about 1.7 seconds the lead over the field. So he is right now gone out of the draft, in my opinion. So it's just up to these guys just to continue pushing with each other to try to catch back up to him, because I think if they start battling, he's going to just extend his lead even more, and that he's gone.
Look at this little battle. Very, very close. That's Wright and Shiflett, 6th and 7th in our GS class. It's probably actually, even though in this early day, one of the closest battles we have in this class. And that's just separated apart as well. So these guys all giving each other a fair amount of room. Not another interesting little battle here. A couple of little clusters of 3. But Whitworth, Vigus and Katila. Sonia, keep mentioning it's unusual to see Clint down here as well, but I don't know if he's just not having the time to practice like you would do normally. But yeah, right in the sort of tail end of the top 10.
Yeah, it's definitely not like him to be down this low, but again, this is also a very tough track. It's easy for people to be fast here because it's not a very difficult track, but it's very tough in the fact that everybody's very close here. So this is a track that you really just got to put in you just got to be very consistent and smooth here, because if you're not, then somebody else will be, and they will be able to pull away from you in that fact, because the track is just that simple. So this is one of those tracks that I personally wouldn't like in real life because of how simple it is, but it's also a track that adds character to it.
Do you remember actually this circuit turned up for myself when I was running the sort of the Road to Pro way back in 2012. So I was running around in the Williams FW31 around this circuit. I can't remember what sort of lap times it was. Something ridiculous, like 50 odd seconds, I think. So it was just insane, and yeah, another level. But you're right. Just trying to actually master the circuit, even though as simple as you would think it is, it's quite a challenge, and there was lots of time to be made and lost with very, very small mistakes. And yeah, I think this is what the drivers are going to see here tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This is a track that has taken me a long time to master and to really become fast at, and I think that's pretty much the same for a lot of people. This track, it's really easy to run, decent lap times around here, but it's that last 3 or 4 tenths that's just really hard to suck out of these cars. But see the drivers up front obviously figuring out how to do that on a very consistent basis.
As we see Dam just get a little out of shape coming out of the corkscrew as well. Hartley now has a little bit of breathing room over Aeronom at the very front. And yeah, top 3 just striding away as they've done pretty much all season long. But yeah, Nom, he's with them, but he's not all over them.
Yeah, Nom's definitely... It looks to me as if Nom is fuel saving right now, trying to do what they do to him usually, just kind of stick behind him and fuel save. But he could also be at the point to where he is out of the draft in these cars. I believe the draft in these cars is about 1 second, so he's a little bit out of the draft in these cars. So it may be a case of he's just losing the draft and he's falling back that way, but personally I think that he is fuel saving.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And I think if he needs to push for a couple of laps just to close the gap back up again, we'll see him do that indeed. Right, what is going on between this battle? Looked particularly close a moment ago as they went through the corkscrew. That's Jacob Beasley and Elvis Ranking. They've got Violet just ahead of them, who's actually 3rd overall as well. So Eric having another good run. But yeah, that pack at the front. Well, we're not used to this, Tyler. And we've got a 3.4 second lead. So I just bring the intervals up. Give us an idea exactly what's going on there. So yeah, Alan, Charles and Violet really separating apart.
Yeah, everyone's very separate in this field. Definitely not something that we're used to seeing in this series. It's just big intervals compared to what we're used to seeing. Like usually in this class, we're used to seeing the top 5, even top 2 to 5, really close. In this series, not really used to a 1 car or even couple car breakaway like these guys are doing. So this is definitely a little bit interesting.
What a great run from Bobby Charles, actually. We don't often see him right at the sharp end, so second place, absolutely totally deserved as well, because no one around him is able to sort of keep up, to be honest. He's just pulling away from Violet, Beasley and Rankin behind, and just not quite able to stay with Alan, unfortunately. But yeah, great performance from Bobby.
Yeah, absolutely amazing performance from him. No one's able to catch him from behind. He's just holding his own right now. He is losing a little bit to John Allen, which now has a 4.1 second advantage over Bobby Childs. That's amazing. So he is really stretching out his gap right now. I don't think he's fuel saving at all. And if he is, he's doing an absolute amazing job to keep the pace. But Penny Nucci and Kevin Ford now. Looking at that battle, it's a pretty close one. 0.2 of a second as those guys go up the hill towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, definitely in a position to send one up the inside if he wants to, but he doesn't. Goes around the outside instead and gets the move done. Does he get the car stopped? Absolutely does. Nails the apex on the way in as well. So Ford muscles it around the outside and gets himself a position. What a great move.
Yeah, amazing move around the outside, and a lot of people say that they'd rather go down the inside in that corner, but to be honest with you, I'd rather go around the outside. It's a lot safer going down through the next part of the hill, and he did an amazing job going around the outside. There's a look at a replay of it on board with him as he goes up the hill.
Nailed the corner before. That was the key.
Definitely the key to a good run.
So she covered up the inside, but yeah, they're around the outside and just got the brakes done. Perfect. Was able to take the almost a normal apex there.
Yeah, almost a normal apex. I think that Pat knew as soon as he got up alongside of him that far that he knew he was just done. And so he just kind of let out of the move, let him have it, and not try to battle him and lose too much time. So really smart between those two.
Back in with this Violet, Beasley and Rankin battle. Gaps keep getting very small and then just expanding again. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on this, see if there are going to be any moves sent.
Yeah, definitely an interesting battle to keep an eye on. These guys are just kind of slinking between each other and not really letting anyone get ahead with the draft. So that is kind of allowing McMurphy to kind of come into this. I can see that he's closing up just a bit, but these guys are so spread out right now that everyone's not really battling. Everyone's just kind of running their own pace. So this is kind of going to allow, I think, some people to kind of fuel save. So I think we're going to see some very interesting strategies today.
Yeah, I always remember this being a circuit that actually is pretty good on fuel as well. You don't tend to burn it too much. So those that can even save a bit more may well play a big role come the pit stop window.
Yeah, I think that'd play a huge role in the pit stop window, because I think the further out you can just kind of get and not really let everybody get, the more spread out you are from everybody is what I'm trying to say, is the safer your race is going to be, so you're not having to battle everyone every single lap, and you can just kind of focus on catching the guy ahead of you, or if you're the guy in front, extending your lead from the guys ahead.
Not too much going on with this battle. It does seem to have settled down somewhat. This trio as well, or quartet actually, which is Thorman, Fike, Looper and Holland, pretty much in a similar position to the battle ahead, just sort of slowly separated apart now, and no one's really actually sort of having a look. They're just kind of circulating around in a bit of a train.
Yeah, everyone's not really close enough to make a move, so everyone's just kind of circle around in a train and just kind of wait, I think, for their perfect opportunity to make a move. I don't think you're going to see anybody really making any aggressive moves. We're only 15 minutes into the 60-minute race, so.
Top three flying as well, 4.3 seconds ahead of Kevin Ford. And Ford actually lapping a fair bit quicker, I think, since he got that position, so.
Yeah, Ford in the clean air. Like you said, 4.4 second advantage these front three have on him, so it's going to definitely be a really big task to catch them, but these guys right now are all kind of separated out. It's the closest battle, or the closest gaps that we have up front compared to the ST class, but still no battling done in this class, as they're going to catch up to some lap traffic.
We'll have a look, see how this will affect things, because this is the first time they've gone through it. Give us an idea of Nom's performance and pace out there as well, because he'll be able to try and close back in, maybe capitalise with the traffic, or whether or not he's just going to kind of sit there quite comfortably.
Yeah, so you can see traffic pulls over for him. This is going to be interesting. Is Robert Hartley going to go for a move as they go into the corkscrews? They're just going to try just to stay behind and push him and try to extend their lead over Nom, because we've seen how good Nom is on the last little stint. These guys, I think if they want any chance of beating him, they got to get away from him early, because I don't think they're going to have any hopes of beating him if he gets ahead of him in the pit stop phase.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just slowly build that gap up to 2.5, 3 seconds. That might be enough, and all they need just to cover off any strategy. But right now, gap only stands at about 6-7 tenths of a second, so I'll make that 8 tenths now, but just not enough.
Nope, not enough with the draft here. Even in these cars, the draft's very faint, but it's still worth something, so these guys are definitely going to close up. And I'm just keeping an eye on Travis Swinky here. He's closing up a little bit to the group of 3 behind, or in front of him, but not much, though, to be honest with you. He's just kind of maintaining the gap to the 3 ahead, so I think he's going to have to pull off something amazing in the pit stops if he wants any hopes of being even to salvage a decent result here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got those 3, and there's another 4.5 seconds up the road to Lyndall McMurphy, but then there is another little group here. You know, I think looking at this, you just focus on him. So 8-9 seconds, Elvis Rankin ahead, and actually just ahead of him got Jacob Beasley. So possibly 9.5 seconds, 45 minutes. It might be doable. Depending on his outright pace. The last few laps has been considerably quicker than everybody else in front of him, so he's doing a great job even after the possible damage that he picked up.
Doing an amazing job, but that's a big task to catch up 9.5 seconds. If he's going to have any hopes of that, he definitely needs to have some outright pace, but he's got to get the pit stop perfect. I always refer to the pit stops, because even in these races, though, they are so important. If you don't time the pit stop perfectly, you can lose seconds, or you can gain seconds if you time it perfectly. So that's a big factor in these races, is how you time your pit stop and how good your pit stop is.
Yeah, great little battle here as well. That's definitely going to have to worry about that. I wonder what they will do, whether they will jump in early, whether they're going to stay out. I'm always in favour of staying out, run the car as long as you can, try and dry out the fuel tank almost. Car's as light as it's going to get. I always feel when you pit a bit early, you put the fuel in, it's just going to slow the car up. Most of them not going to take tyres, of course.
Yeah, I agree with that one, and it also depends on your setup, because I've had setups where it's actually better if I'm on full fuel, so it definitely depends on how you've got the car set up. If you got the car set up to where it's better on low fuel, you try to drain the tank as much as possible. If your car's better on heavy fuel, then you try to come in a little bit earlier and get the fuel back in the car so that you're as fast as you possibly can be.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Definitely rings true with like V8 supercar. I always used to remember that thing used to handle much better on a full tank of fuel than it did when it was on a low one, even with the same setup.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy how the fuel levels can completely change. As I think that is Fight going down the inside of Loper. Is that the other way around?
It is indeed Fight. It actually darts into the pits as well. So I think that's Travis jumping in as well, isn't it? It is indeed.
Yeah, follows him into the pit lane. So
that makes sense why, as we see the 3 leaders in GS just fly onto screen. So absolutely perfect timing. They're not going to get held up at all. So that is why they decided to jump in. Good strategy call, I think.
Yeah, good for both of them. The front 3 leaders in your GS class separated by just about a second, a little bit over a second. So these guys all really close in this battle.
Hardly as close as I think I've ever seen him, and actually just a little bit of traffic has brought has brought Nom right back into the action. So, yeah, he's still there. Can't break away, so this is going to be interesting. I definitely feel like his first call is going to try and do it in the pits, but I definitely like to see some on-track action.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Nom's going to try the undercut and just try to get out and not have to worry about these ST cars in front of him. I wonder if actually all three of these guys are going to try to come in very soon and try to just not have to deal with these ST car traffic. As there is Mike Dam going by Derek Holland, so those guys are going to try to get by Holland first. Then they still got three more up the road, so it's quite a bit of traffic for these guys on this lap. And that is just bringing Aero Nom right into the battle.
Just going to have a very, very quick glance at the notes that Kevin sends us across, just to see if when might see them come into the pits. Mustang will get about 15 to 16 laps of fuel on a tank, so yeah, they're not going to be too much longer before they jump in.
No, I don't think they're going to be too much longer at all, but Rob Hartley closed up quite a bit as Mike Dam made a big mistake in the final corner. I think if that the ST traffic, hadn't been there, that he could have possibly made a move. There's also now going to be some ST traffic in the form of Chris Thorman in between your two leaders in the GS class, so now GS is kind of getting a little bit more spread out, and Aero Nom gets by them, still very close in the front of GS.
Yeah, we'll stay with this until they've completely cleared all the traffic. I think it's only going to take a couple of laps before they get to that next gaggle. But looking at what else is going on in terms of live timing, it does look like Jacob Beasley might be having a good battle as well. That 3-car MX-5 battle just keeps ebbing and flowing right now.
Yeah, it's a pretty good battle there. I think it just got a little bit spread out with the traffic, but still a pretty close battle. And this top battle, even with the traffic, still stays very close. Everyone within about a second and a half. So I think these guys are honestly going to be close together and just right up on each other all the way to the end. Aero Nom dives into the pits. I think that's going to be to try to get an undercut on the two guys ahead of him. They stay out.
100%, that's what that's for. He's absolutely throwing it. Curveball, see if he can get out in front. He'll want track position. You need it here, I feel. It's very, very difficult to get by unless you've got that car right alongside.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why that ST traffic that you just saw on your screen, I think that is the reason that Aero Nom came into the pits. He's hoping that Mike Dam and Rob Hartley get held up in that traffic and that he is able to get out ahead of them by not having to deal with that traffic right now.
A few more people jumped into the pits as well. Russ Roddick, Matthew Katila in. We're still waiting for Nom to leave. There he is. Where does he come out? Is he going to get relatively clean air? Potential rival ahead of him. That will be Michael Monaghan, who's taken tyres. No, he hasn't pitted yet, sorry. But
Yes,
that's not what he wanted, that's for sure. Unless you can get by him straight away here, which you might do.
Yeah, you can't let Mike Monaghan hold him up right now. He just got to try to get by him, and Mike Monaghan just kind of pulls over for him just a little bit, lets him go. But yeah, he cannot get held up. That is one thing that he cannot do at this point. He has got to keep his nose as clean as possible and have as clean air as possible if he has any hope of catching those two in the front, because those two just staying in a line is going to be a lot faster than him by himself, and as the two leaders of the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on top of each other as well. So, good to know that the race officials, with the notes that they sent across, absolutely bang on the money there as well. So, 15, 16 laps, that's what we're expecting.
Yeah, right on the money, and we actually don't see that due to just the amount of crazy strategies that these guys come up with. But I'm keeping an eye on Aero Nom here on my timing screen. See, it's ever closer, coming out of the final corner.
There they are.
There they are, and I think he's going to jump them.
Although, of course, he's got to go the long way round, hasn't he, onto the hairpin. These guys will break here, and we'll have the tighter line. Don't get it wrong. Oh, this is going to be close. You're right. He's got him. Absolutely nailed it. That undercut worked an absolute treat. That is not what Damon Hartley wanted to see. Once again, the strategician that is Aeronom just showing his thing. Yeah, I know. I butchered my pronunciation of that.
Yeah, we see it time and time again. Aeronom with amazing strategies. This is... Wow, that was an amazing strategy call, I will have to say it myself. He really got that right on that pit stop. So that's going to help him out tremendously. That's 2 positions that he doesn't have to make up on track anymore.
Tyler Vickery is in comms channel 2, so hopefully he'll be with us soon. Just getting himself ready, I have no doubt. Ford jumps into the pits as well. Shift flip. Doesn't. Does he? No, he doesn't. He stays out. Goes one more. So getting some real laps out of that fuel tank.
Yeah, trying to just stretch the fuel as long as possible. I'm just trying to look at lap times here across the board. Just going down the list here. So, just looking down the list. Everybody very close on lap times, though. I'm not seeing anybody that's just crazy faster than the other ones. Everyone's staying quite close throughout the field.
Yeah, apart from this guy, who's 9.2 seconds clear at the front now in his class. Alan, phenomenal performance.
Yeah, he was just about a second faster than Bobby Childs last lap, so that's incredible. 0.6 faster, fastest lap to fastest lap. So yeah, John Allen in a world of his own right now, absolutely gone from the rest of the field. I don't see anybody catching him unless he has some sort of wreck or something like that. I think at this point he's gone. Nobody's going to see him again. Just about 9 seconds ahead of your field right now, so he is absolutely checked out.
Just coming up to about the halfway mark of the race, what I'll probably do while we're seeing this little battle go off, we'll just quickly head to a short commercial break, and we'll be back for the final half hour of the race here at Laguna Seca for the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. welcome back to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Big shout out and thank you to Ricmotech for supporting the series as always. Just seeing little snippets of what they've got available on their online store. So yeah, do go check those guys out as well. We didn't really miss anything while we were away, guys. Everyone's pretty much as they were, but it does look a little closer at the front of GS right now. And yeah, Tyler, Vickery, thank you very much for joining us as well. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind just sort of taking over your usual role as GS comms for me.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry for the delay, as I'm always running behind from work. But so far, from everything I've listened into while I was on my way in, it's been a very good battle, I have to say. Aeronom's taking over the lead. Clint Vigas just getting into the pits. It's going to be very interesting after all of the pit cycles finally goes through, and you got your usual top three with Aeronom, Mike Dam, and Robert Hartley all going to be fighting it out to the end. Question is, though, and I heard it earlier on the broadcast when I was listening in on my way to get to the house, the tire strategy, well, not tire strategy, I should say. The track state's going to be interesting. I looked on the track temp, and it's 101 degrees track temp for Fahrenheit, which I believe in Celsius is a little bit over 40 degrees Celsius. I almost want to say maybe a little hotter than that. So it's a very hot track for these guys, and when you kick up the dust and sand onto the track, it adds into some slippery conditions, which it's going to be really taxing on these guys, especially with how Aero's been able to keep Mike Dam and Robert Hartley off.
Yeah, I mean, just can't see where they're going to get by him, frankly, although this is probably as close as Mike has been. I'm surprised he didn't just poke it up the inside there just to upset Nom's rhythm just a little bit. Some traffic going in. That's an Excite car, I believe, into the pits. And back around the final corner, and they're pretty much still as they are. So, yeah, this straightaway just needs to be stretched a bit, doesn't it? Just so that the slipstream can kick into effect. It's too short, not getting enough of a run.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that. I've ran this track a lot on the server, and it's you feel like you can get a really good run out of it, but with these kind of cars, and even like another good example is the GT3 cars, you can get really quick and get up the top speed very quick. But that draft, though, when you don't get a big opportunity on draft, it makes it really difficult for overtaking, especially coming off of heading down into turn 1 and 2 after the start-finish line, and that's not a big straightaway that you can be able to use.
See if Dam's gonna decide to do anything. Does he get a good enough run through here? Not really. Stays about where he is. So any kind of move, he'd really have to do a late one. I think it's too early in the race to do that. Maybe the last 5 minutes or so he might go for that, but not at this point. Quickly going to switch back because there's another good little battle going on right now, and that one possibly is going to have a move. Clint Vigas and Matthew Catila, and Vigas up the inside, but I think that was more a mistake from Catila letting him through there.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking seeing Vigas way down in the field. Usually he's up there in the front runners with Aero and Mike, with Nom, Mike Dam, and Hartley. So seeing him really down there is a really scary sign, seeing Clint having some big struggles early.
And that was exactly what we were commenting earlier on, wasn't it, Tyler, as well, as we switch over to the ST class, and we're looking at this little battle between Elvis Rankin, Jacob Beasley, and is that Bob? It's not. Bobby's just a little bit further up the road. You can see him there, just a few seconds up the road. So what have we got? So these top 4, they haven't pitted yet, Tyler, but everybody else has? Ish? Just like, you know, your mic's, your mic's got muted, mate. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So one thing I noticed a little bit down the field here, John Allen with a 1:04 pit stop, so he's had some sort of disaster in the pit lane.
They're all about the same, to be fair. 1-4, 1-1, 1-4, 1-3, 1-4. So it was really Lyndon McMurphy just had an absolutely blindingly quick one.
Yes.
But everyone else around about the same sort of time. Stationary time for Lyndon was 16.72. So we'll have to see if he needs another one. Bobby Charles coming into the pits as well.
Yes, so that was your race leader into the pit lane. Provisional second place, and I believe that's also Eric Violet in with him as well. That leaves Elvis Rankin and Jacob Beasley to take over 1 and 2 in the race right now.
So Jordala coming through now. There it is indeed. So, yeah, it's not hurt him at all. Still got a nice big lead.
Yes, he has stayed with that commanding lead in the ST class. He has had a commanding lead all afternoon, or what should say night, but he really killing it right now. He is gone from the rest of the ST field, and at this point, with just about 23 minutes left, I don't see any way that you could catch him.
No, not at all. Right, Dam actually dropped back a little bit now from the front. Only half a second, but it's Hartley really looking. He wants to try and get a move on Mike here. See if he can get to the front, get the ice cream, and try and, win this race, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And looking at some of the fourth place as well with Kevin Ford. Kevin Ford's trying to close in. He's running about the same lap times as the leaders are, with the 1:35.2 his last time by. But with everyone else running the 1:35s, it's making it real difficult for Kevin to try to catch up. With the way these guys are fighting, it's going to be a three-car race right now for the GS class, but there's going to be a lot of question marks coming into play when they get to about 10 minutes to go. Because I think 10 minutes to go for the GS class is going to be crunch time for these guys, and especially Hartley. And you can already see Hartley starting to get a little aggressive, trying to figure out what moves he can make to be able to get around Mike Dam.
I just brought the mini map up because if you actually have a look, see where they are on this track now, they're pretty clear for a long time. So you might be right, actually. 10 minutes or so might see them start to get into a bit of a cluster in terms of traffic. But right now, it's all good. So this is exactly what I think probably Nom wants. Has got, but also in terms of Dam, he's got an opportunity to get a run. But I feel like his best option is going to be if there's a major cluster of traffic somewhere that he can perhaps do a surprise move or something like that. So right at the end of the race, I think maybe even more than 10 minutes because we're not quite half a track, but we're a fair bit, and we are only lapping 4 seconds a lap quicker than the STs out there. So it's going to take a while for them to get into traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I honestly think too, with the way that Robert Hartley is racing, if he wants to make any kind of move, I would not be surprised. I know it's a big risk, especially with how big these Ford Mustangs are for the GS class. I would not be surprised if we start seeing either Mike Dam or Robert Hartley trying to look at making a big dive bomb move on Aero Nam heading into the corkscrew.
Problem for Jeff Jacobs, he's dropping down the order. A second pit stop required for him as Nom just a little bit out of shape coming off of turn 1. It's not something we see too often, but right under pressure now. This is as close as these three have ever been. So there's something going on over in ST as well, Tyler. All of a sudden, we've got Jacob Beasley and Elvis Ranking having this little battle. I don't think these guys have pitted yet, have they? So just net lead, but
yeah, a little battle between these guys. That's not really what they want if they haven't pitted yet. It's just not the smartest move to be making, just losing time and time and time if you haven't pitted yet. So, not the smartest move in my opinion, but, you know, it's a good battle to watch.
And I'm going to jump in as well, as there was a, earlier on in the race, I believe, there was an incident between the 71 of Clint Vigas and the 38 of, it says the 38 car. We're trying to see who that is. That would be Jeff Jacobs. There was an incident between both of them, and Clint Vigas was black flagged 30 seconds for causing an incident there.
That would make some sense as to why he's way down there where he is. And of course, Jeff, I'm guessing is suffering just a little bit out there as well afterwards. So, yeah, it all makes sense. Right, back to this very front lead battle, because things really going on. But got to be getting to that stage of the race where we're going to start to see a move.
Yeah, things are really starting to heat up. Hartley ran a 134.9 compared to Aero Nam running a 135 flat, and Mike Dam with a 135 flat as well. As Nam goes a little wide, but even though there's still about a little less than 18 minutes to go, and not many laps, and with Aero having this big wide open area in front of him, he's probably loving it right now that he can be able to push the car as much as he wants to right now. So things are going to get real interesting as it comes to near 10 minutes to go, I think, in my opinion. And Hartley's got to start pushing out if he wants to make any opportunity.
And Tyler, if you wouldn't mind coming back in as well, just to bounce off each other for the moment, just because I'm going to have to go and grab a cup of coffee, because I am going to fall asleep in my rig tonight. I'm sorry, guys, but I've been doing it. I mean, I've been talking about ice cream. That shows you how much I was. I must have been dreaming at that point. So, yeah, God knows what's going on. So it's an earlier night as well, and all of a sudden I've never been in a worse state ever. So, yeah, just leave you guys to take us through the action that we've got with this battle while I just go and find myself a black.
Yeah, absolutely. Still watching right now. Still watching this battle between Nam, Mike Dam, and Hartley. It's going to be very interesting to see what they kind of do. So Tyler, what do you think? Any strategy at all between? Probably, I should say, the strategy between Mike Dam's point of view or even Rob Hartley's point of view.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely going to be some strategy in there. I think that they have to have some strategy in order to be able to make up any sort of time. If they're going to try to take the lead, they got to have some strategy in play. They kind of got to work together almost in order to be able to take the lead. But
yeah, so we're keeping an eye on this battle, and it seems like Mike Dams might be starting to push the issue a little bit on Aero Nam. Hartley's now about half a second gap to these two guys fighting, and it seems like Mike Dams feeling like it's go time now with 15 minutes.
Yeah, definitely feeling like it's go time. He's just got to start to move up and really start catching that front field, because I don't think if he doesn't really try to start pushing, it's not going to happen.
Heading into turn 1 and 2 right now. Hartley able to get a little closer to these guys, but the same issue right now is it seems like it's a little bit more of a patient game with Hartley, though, still, as he is not even trying to attempt to even just to make a peek at a corner.
Nope, not at all. As I'm trying to get my live timing back up, just had it crash on me there. So there we go, back up and running. So yeah, now I can actually see this battle going on. So yeah, very close in the front.
Yeah, and even I'm keeping an eye on the live timing as well, while our camera guy Alex is running to get him a quick coffee real quick. Quick update for the ST class. John Allen still leading the way over Bobby Childs right now with a 16-second gap. Eric Violet is 5 seconds behind John Allen right now. And my live timing went crazy. It looks like John Allen started falling off the pace a little bit, I think.
Yeah, mine kind of did the same thing. John Allen dropping down positions on my live timing. I don't know what's quite going on with that. was going to say I was going to try to jump in and try to change the camera angle on us, but can't do that.
Absolutely. Still focused on the GS class as well, and these guys are just really putting at it now. And looking at the lap times now, Aeronam is just ran a 1:35.1. All three actually running a 1:35.1, and things are starting to get really tight lap time wise. As here we go, Mike Dam looking on the inside. He might have the run here on Aeronam, but Nam's gonna squeeze him out here going into 3.
Yeah, nice defending moves there by Aeronam. Mike Dam now. This is when he's going to last 13 minutes. This is when I think you guys are going to start seeing these guys really start to get aggressive, really start to make moves, because if they don't now, any sort of mistake they make really just, it could be costly and they cannot win the race because of it. So these guys have got to try to get track position on these guys. If they go side by side through again, not quite, as they head up the hill towards the corkscrew.
Heading up here, Mike Dam is going to look on the outside. If he can be able to get the run here, Aeronam's going to have the inside as he squeezes on the inside. He might still be able to hang on and have the inside coming out, and he will! But Aeronam's going to have the inside coming into turn 10. This is going to be close. It's a great side-by-side battle, though, as Mike Dam's going to have the inside line here, and he'll pull away with it. New leader, Mike Dam.
And I think this is going to open up the door for Rob Hartley with Aeronam going around the outside. Not quite. Aero Hartley, though, with the move off the corner. A little bit of contact on the exit, though. And I think that's going to be Hartley up another position. So Aeronam loses 2 spots in the matter of a half lap here.
And did Hartley and Dam, I think they just found the kink in Aeronam's armor. We might see a different GS class winner tonight. I'm trying not to jinx it now, but this battle is getting really good for the top 3 in GS.
Yeah, amazing battle in GS. This is usually we see this field very spread out by this point, but not so today. As Aeronam looking for a move around Rob Hartley, but Mike Dam now is starting to stretch away.
And you can see Aero's not happy. He was pushed in that car, heading up the hill now. Is looking at it now as on board, and you can just see the gap pulling away from Aero, and Aero knows he's in trouble if he cannot make this gap.
Yeah, Aero, I think you're going to start seeing him push even harder than he has been before in this race, he's going to just make as aggressive a move as possible, because I think if he knows that if he doesn't really get ahead of these guys and just be able to block, then I don't think that he's going to be able to win this one right now, because I personally don't think that he has the pace over these guys right now.
Yeah, and you can just see both Hartley and Mike Dam just pulling away from him. And the only way I think now Nam might have an opportunity is he's got to make an aggressive move like he is there coming in the last corner, heading to the start-finish. And he's just got to hope that Hartley and Mike have a big incident coming in to the last few minutes, as we're down to 10 minutes to go in the race.
Yeah, just about 10 minutes to go now. And yeah, that's pretty much his hope, I think. Just hoping that these guys start battling and that he can just kind of pick up the pieces and get through. As we go over 5th now is Travis Swinky after big contact on the first lap. He's found his way up into 5th and quite close to Eric Violet and Lytle McMurphy in the middle of those two. So Travis Swinky, amazing comeback drive from him. Has a chance at P3 tonight. So that is an amazing comeback drive after crashing out in turn 2 a little bit earlier on right at the start of this race. He has gone through the field tonight.
Yeah, for certain. Especially when I saw the incident on the live stream earlier, as Lytle McMurphy goes wide, giving Travis Schwenke the opportunity to get around him, and heading towards the final corner, he's going to have an opportunity to draft up on Eric Violet to try to make an opportunity to make another overtake for 3rd, heading up past the start-finish line, heading towards turn 1.
Yeah, Travis Swinky, anytime you make a mistake, he picks up the pieces, and that's exactly what he's doing. Travis Swinky, he has incredible pace pretty much anywhere we go, and now he's trying to make a move, sizing up a move on Eric Violet for 3rd. But let's just take a minute to recognize Bobby Childs in P2. That's an amazing result for him if he can hold on to that tonight. but John Allen is absolutely gone. Nobody really can catch him with about 18 seconds right now, the lead in the ST class, but amazing job by Bobby Childs tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and especially from all the previous races and the unfortunate luck that Bobby Childs has had. Fit right now, running second, having a 6-second gap to Violet and Schwenke is unbelievable. As we're going back to the GS class, and now it's Robert Hartley in the lead. It looks like Mike Dam might have made a mistake, but Aeronam is still in third, not able to take advantage of Mike Dam's mistakes.
No, not at all. This is a great battle for the lead in GS, and there goes... Can't get the move done. Oh, a little bit sideways on the exit. Not enough, though, and that is just giving Rob Hartley the chance to just kind of stretch out his gap now over Dam and Nam. So these guys now kind of have to play teammate with each other to try to catch Rob Hartley again.
Yeah, that was just Mike Dam had made a big critical mistake there. And we're looking at the replay now. Mike Dam just goes a little wide coming out of the exit of the final corner, and Robert Hartley just takes advantage of it.
Yeah, takes advantage of him indeed. As we go back live now to this battle, you can see Mike Dam has definitely got the pace, and now we're back now to the ST battle. A little bit of traffic in there. Travis Swinky, Eric Violet really close, and still Violet hangs on to it on the exit of turn 1. But this battle, 4 cars battling for P3.
Yeah, with Lionel McMurphy and Jacob Beasley able to catch back up again from after Lionel McMurphy made a big mistake to give Travis Schwenke 4th place in the ST class. Being able to come back now and might have an opportunity to try to fight and have the opportunity to try to take back 4th and maybe even take...
Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be a great battle all the way to the flag. I don't think we're really going to be able to call it, because they're all really, really close. About a second and a half, just over a second and a half, separates them, all 4 of these drivers, and you got a little bit of traffic behind. I wonder if that's going to play a little bit of a factor in it, but Travis Swinky, looking left, looking right, can't make a move. Down through the corkscrews, going to try to get a better run off the corner. Still nothing as he cuts the corner quite a bit. That's going to be a slowdown for him, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it as he's running a little wide. Yeah, as he's getting on the brakes now.
So that cost him big time. That could cost him a podium tonight. So Travis Swinky, big mistake from him, cost him a lot of time. That's also going to allow traffic to get through. So is traffic going to help out Travis Swinky in his attempt to pull back towards the field? As we switch back over to Mike Dam, this battle still not dying down at all.
Now, as Robert Hartley's going to make clean work here of getting around the 73 of Luis Loper, and now Mike Dam and Aeronam. Mike Dam having to take the inside, and Aeronam was able to take his normal line, but they're still losing a little bit of gap to Robert Hartley, though. That time by is 0.6 of a second gap from Rob Hartley to Mike Dam, and Aeronam just still sitting back there in third, can't figure out a way to get around Mike Dam. And he's in real jeopardy here of losing out on having his perfect season.
Yeah, he's definitely in jeopardy of it, but he also could be playing a strategy game. I do see a strategy Mike Dam could be playing. He's just trying to sit back, let Mike Dam do all the work, kind of burn off his tires a little bit more, and let Rob Hartley burn off his tires a little bit more, and try to just capitalize in those last lap or two, and really try to make up positions then. Because if he battles with Mike Dam now, all he's going to do is lose time to Rob Hartley, so he could be playing the strategy game.
Yeah, and especially with 5 minutes to go in the race, anything can happen. Ooh, as Hartley hits the curbing there a little hard. Got the left front up in the air, but was able to control it still, heading up into the corkscrew.
Yeah, the corkscrew's a very challenging corner, but everyone dealing with it pretty good tonight. I haven't seen any incidents there, but it is a kind of an incident hotspot sometimes in some of the other series. But now the gap is closing now, just under 4 seconds. But crucially, Mike Dam has started to pull away from Aeronam, so that is a big deal. He's caught Rob Hartley, but has left Aeronam behind.
Yeah, and like you were saying with the strategy earlier, I think Aeronam might play in a patient game and hoping that when Mike Dam catches up to Hartley, that they really fight it up and slug it out to the point where they might end up taking each other out, and that's probably the only way Aero's going to have any opportunity as they're catching up to lap traffic now.
Yeah, I think that's really going to be Aeronom's only thing, unless those guys really start battling, which is all could happen. Trying to get the first person to take away Aeronom's perfect win streak and a win in the class, which obviously no one but Aeronom has had this season. So these guys are going to be going for the points because of the championship. But yeah, these guys are really, I think, going to start battling in this last lap.
Yeah, it's right now about just getting ready to finish up 57th minute, and so we might have enough time for 2 more laps. So it's go time for these guys, especially with roughly 2 laps remaining in the race.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be the time for these guys to start pushing, and Rob Hartley kind of encountering the traffic at a little bit better time than Mike Dam and Aero Nom. This is going to allow Nom to catch up to Mike Dam, though. This little bit of traffic from the ST cars, but that's also going to allow Rob Hartley to kind of extend his lead a little bit.
Yeah, and Mike Dam was stuck behind Jordy Fike there in the 09. Aero Nom getting around cleanly as well as there goes the one of the GS cars. I believe that's Clint Vigas coming in again. Just not the best night for him. As gap right now between Robert Hartley and Mike Dam is 0.8 of a second, and not much time as we're at 2 to go this time.
Yeah, not much time at all. He's really going to have to start making it happen if he wants any chance at a win. And more so, Aero Nom. Aero Nom really needs to make a move now if he has any chance of getting the win this afternoon or tonight.
And right now, it seems like Robert Hartley, looking at the lap times, quickest out of the 3, with Robert Hartley running a 1:35.4 that lap. Mike Dam was a 1:35.8 and Aero Nom a 1:35.7, so the advantage is still Robert Hartley currently.
Yeah, still advantage to Robert Hartley. And I think it's just going to... So hard to call these races, but to be honest with you, I think that Robert Hartley's got it and Mike Dam is going to come home second because I don't think Aero Nom's got anything for him, but commentator's curse probably is going to inflict on Rob Hartley.
As they're heading up into the corkscrew now, that gap is staying at a steady pace with 0.8 of a second, and Mike Dam's pushing this car to the limits now, and he is pulling away from Aero Nom just a little bit, about 0.5 of a second when they came out of the corkscrew. So Mike Dam's got to make an opportunity here, and he's got to make it right now on this lap, as they're going to be hitting the white flag this time by.
Yeah, they're going to be hitting the white flag this time by, but crucially, there is also traffic a little bit closer ahead. That 4-car battle in ST for 3rd place. That there has a possibility to catch up to that traffic this lap, so that could cause a big issue for your race leader Rob Hartley.
Absolutely, and at the pace that they're going right now, they've got a little bit of a gap. But as you can see on the screen, that 4-car battle in the ST class, they were just getting ready to come out of 3. Going through 3 and 4 now, so this is gonna be really critical for Robert Hartley to make it through this pack of cars while they have the opportunity.
Yeah, this could definitely hurt him if he doesn't get through these guys quickly, and that could just completely shrink the gap to nothing now. And I don't know if they got the white flag that time by, but if they did, then we are on white flag lap.
Yeah, I believe it should be white flag, as we've got right now as it's just elapsed 1 hour. So this should be white flag, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it's white flag as well. Aero Nom a little bit off, so he is definitely struggling with grip. Way off the track. Nice save, though, by Aero Nom. But yeah, he is definitely struggling with grip, and you can see Mike Dam closing the gap to Rob Hartley just a little bit. So Hartley kind of losing some grip along with Aero Nom. So this could definitely be a battle for the lead. He's going to have to make an absolutely amazing move into the final corner if he has any chance.
Really late braking there by Mike Dam is going to try to late brake here. Coming out of the final corner now. Hartley on the throttle. Dam on the throttle. Coming to the line, and it looks like it's going to be Robert Hartley going to pull away with the win. And for the first time this season, someone else other than Aero Nom wins the GS class.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Laguna Seca can throw up at you. Pretty much anyone can win here, and we've seen that tonight. Aero Nom, off his 6th straight win streak, is taken down by Rob Hartley. He comes home in 3rd, though. and Mike Dam comes home second. So amazing job by those guys. Really close battle to the end, which is usually not what we see in this class, actually, in the front.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, in the ST class, John Allen just pulling away with a lead over 20 seconds over Bobby Childs. But there still is a good battle, though, between Eric Violet, and Jacob Beasley for third place in the podium for the ST class. About half a second gap between the two.
Yeah, very close for those guys. So pretty much all the play for still in that for third place. So I'm just kind of watching my live timing here.
I'm keeping an eye on the rest of the field. Kevin Ford finishes in fourth. Pat Iannucci in fifth. Rounding out your top five for the GS class.
Yeah, amazing job by John Allen. He crosses the line, and he had an absolutely commanding performance today. Wins in the ST class by a quite large margin. And I believe Bobby Childs has come home third already, and that's going to be Eric Violet in third. So amazing job by those guys. Absolutely amazing battle for P3 all the way down to the line, but really, really good job by John Allen today. An absolutely commanding performance.
Yeah, definitely. And with the last few drivers, with all those drivers now finishing, definitely can pop up the final results for the series tonight. And what a way the race.
Yeah, what an amazing race this was tonight for these guys. So an amazing race as we are used to seeing in the Ricmotech Sports Car Championship. But a beautiful comeback drive, though, by Travis Swinky. After getting spun around on the first lap, able to come back to fifth place.
Yeah, great run by Travis. As we're waiting to see if the results will pop up on the screen for you. And then we can be able to round out the whole entire run. And I believe Alex might be asleep now. I'm not sure.
No, they are up on screen. GS results are up on screen. So
Oh, my apologies. Okay, then my live timing then for me is being a little slow. Alrighty, so with the GS class, Robert Hartley takes down Aero Nam in a great battle tonight, finishing in first. Great run by Robert, starting in second and pulling away. Mike Dam finishing in second. Aero Nam, a very odd finish for him, finishing in third. Then coming out in fourth is Kevin Ford. Pascal Iannucci rounds out your top five. Then it would end up being Tyler Shiflett, Brandon Whitworth, Leon Wright, Steve Daniels, and Russ Roddick for your top 10 in GS. Great run by all these guys, and especially Brandon Whitworth as well. Matthew Kalita, Michael Mahonigan, Jeff Jacobs rounding out your 13. Clint Vigas just not having the best of nights, finishing in 14th in your GS class. And then moving on to the ST class, John Allen just
something's not right
pulling
there,
away.
is it? Yeah, something's on the standings. Not quite sure what's going on there. Very weird. It's not pulled them down exactly right. Yeah, read them from the iRacing official standings if you would, so that we get it right.
Yep.
So yeah, that's very weird.
Yeah, definitely. As John D. Allen was able to pull away with a big win over Bobby Childs. John Allen finishing 23 seconds ahead of Bobby Childs. Have to admit, Bobby Childs pulled an amazing run as well to finish in second. Great run by Bobby. And then rounding out your podium will be Eric Violet. Then it's going to be Jacob Beasley and Travis Schwenke rounding out your top five, with Travis Schwenke having a great run after getting caught up in an early incident in turn two at the start of the race. So being able to come back and finish fifth is a great run by him. Then it'll be Lionel McMurphy, Chris Thorman, George Fike, and Luis Loper rounding out your top 10. Then it'd be Elvis Rankin, Edgar Cincinnati, Michael Key, Patrick Pervinis, David Patton, Derek Holland rounding out your ST field, as Ryan Cobb, was race control today, so which is why you don't see him completing a lap.
Well, thanks very much, guys. I don't know if you want to take a couple of interviews as well. Yeah, just a big shout out to everybody as well. Obviously, apologies for being over on Discord, which had some audio issues earlier on as well. We just could not get them resolved over on TeamSpeak, but yeah, they were non-existent in Discord tonight. So, who'd you fancy? Both John and Rob?
I was gonna say, I can go ahead and talk to our GS winner for Rob Hartley.
Run off a 3.
So, Rob Hartley, have to admit, for the way that GS race was going for you guys, what an unbelievable race. Great battle with Arrow. Now you get to say that you were the driver that beat Arrow Nam from finally knocking him off his winning podiums that he was in for all of last season and then all the way up until tonight. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. I tell you, Arrow Gnome is the legend in the Mustang, and Mike Dam's right there with him. That's 2 tough competitors to beat, and it just kind of fell in my lap there.
Absolutely, and especially were you feeling that the pressure when you were hanging behind Mike Dam and Arrow for the entire race, especially when it came down to those last 15 minutes?
Yeah, after the pits, we come out behind Arrow, and I just decided, well, I'm going to sit back here and save as much tire as I can and wait for the end. And then Mike started putting the pressure on Arrow, and he started making a little mistakes and finally got into second. And then Mike ended up having a mistake of his own and allowed me to get into first. And it was just trying to hold it from there on out.
I have to admit, just the way you guys were able to run with all 3 of you guys, that was great entertainment for the whole broadcast for us. We were loving it, especially with how much of the battling was going on. And great work on being able to tire save enough and being able to pull away from Mike Dam and Arrow Nam after both of them making critical mistakes near the end.
Yeah, it's so tough in this league. I mean, we battled the whole 60 minutes. It's so hard to pass, and finally was able to mix it up there at the end. I just want to say thanks to all these guys for driving as great as they do.
Absolutely. And definitely, do you have any shout outs you got for us tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Ricmotech for their sponsor, and the admins in this league do a heck of a job. Thanks to them, and thanks to Apex for the broadcast.
Oh, definitely. Again, congrats again on the win. Great drive by you there as well for being able to be the driver to beat Arrow Nam in this series, and especially with how difficult it is trying to, especially against a great driver like him, and as well as all you guys as well. That was great battling, and congratulations again on the win, Robert.
Thanks, guys.
So, John, amazing result for you tonight. Absolutely commanding performance in the ST class. What was your view on it?
Part of it tonight was just Laguna is very much a rhythm track for me. I'm never in between. I either have it nailed or I'm way off. And tonight it fell on the right side of the coin. And so I just after last week's debacle in the pits, I made sure I took enough fuel. I didn't even bother with tires. I figured the time that would be gained by anybody behind me taking them wouldn't be enough to close, and just be polite with traffic and bring it home. I needed I needed the boost, and I came in tonight with a little bit of edge, a little bit of attitude, maybe learned a bit of a trigger to put me in the right spot and the right mindset moving forward.
Yeah, well, whatever you did definitely worked for you tonight. I don't know the exact gap that you had, but you had you were gone. Nobody was going to be able to catch you in that ST field. You did an amazing job tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, it's always, it's on repeat for sure, but it's comprehensive. Everybody in this league is just real stand up, good eggs, and appreciate having you on board and added to the broadcast. I had a chance to watch last week's back, and the insight we all appreciate. So good on you for that. And of course the admins, Kevin and Jeff. We say it every time, but if we could say it more, we would. They do an incredible job getting things ready for us and making sure the product that's put out there and the representation for you guys and Ricmotech and their products is top notch.
Well, amazing result for you tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so now as we bring in Mike Dam, our second place finisher from the GS class. Man, what a showing there. At least you can get to say that you beat Aeronum, but I know you would have liked to have had that win instead.
Yeah, I mean, once Aero came out in front of me after the pits, I put my head down and I was going for every opportunity I could find. So I was just looking to either put him offline or do anything I could do to make a mistake so I could get by him. And I can't believe I got by him at the corkscrew there. Then, unfortunately, my tires were so bad. A couple of laps later, I blew the corkscrew and got a slowdown. That's how Rob got by me. So,
and that's really unfortunate when that happens, especially when it comes to a slowdown. But especially when being able to force Aero to as hard as it was, how did it feel when you were able to force him into a mistake and be able to make that critical pass that ended up helping both you and Robert Hartley to get in front of Aero?
Yeah, it felt really good. I've been recently using triple screen, so it's been I've been trying to get back into, different field of views, and just trying to race close is a little more difficult than it used to be. But I feel like I'm kind of finally getting to a point where I'm comfortable within that 1.1 and 0.2. So, it felt really awesome to be, pushing hard, and finally, something works and you get by clean. So,
absolutely great performance again, Mike. Definitely got any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, just a big shout out to Ricmotech for putting this series on. They have awesome equipment. They do a lot for the series. So, and just Kevin and Jeff, the admins, for putting this on. They do a great job. Very professional.
Well, congratulations again on the great battle you had with Robert and Aero. I know you would like to had a first place, but definitely great job again on at least being able to finish in the podium, and great battle as well between the other two.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night, guys.
So Bobby Childs, second place in ST tonight. Bobby, amazing job by you. I believe this is your best result of the season. So amazing job tonight.
This is my best result ever in the league. I am just absolutely oh my God, I can't even describe it. It's just an amazing feeling.
Well, you definitely had the pace tonight, and you did it in a good way. You were gone from that battle for third, but you were just a little bit lacking on John to be able to keep up with him. But still, amazing job, as you said, best result in the league. So,
John was just in a class of his own, Tyler. We saw that in practice all week too, man. He'd get out on the track, and it's just something about this track. He said he was driving angry. I don't believe that. He just has a little something extra here.
Yeah, sounds like he was driving in a league of his own. Well, still, amazing job on the second place. Is there anybody you would like to thank?
Yeah, I've got to send a big shout out to my teammate and team co-founder, Jim List. His fellow competitors in the real life Global Mazda know him as Andrew. The team is on their way to Circuit of the Americas now for the opening round of the Global Mazda this year, and we want to wish him the best of luck. Shout out to my teammate Eric Violette and Brandon Whitworth, and our associates David Payton and Chris Thorman helped us a lot getting the car set up this week. And man, just absolutely, I don't even know the words to say how I feel right now. I'm just woohoo!
Awesome job on the amazing result tonight in the ST class.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome stuff. Right. Thank you very much, gents. I've sort of woken up a little bit. I do apologise. I've never ever had to struggle so much through a broadcast as that. Just goes to show that it really did get me. But yeah, great job stepping in and taking over. I do appreciate that. And yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch the last 10 minutes of that race, I think. Oh, I missed an absolute cracker.
Oh, yes, you did. It was some really good battling. And of course, it has to happen when you got to find a way to at least keep you awake for for another 20 minutes.
Oh, man. Yeah. Like I say, I've never experienced it like that before. I'm normally pretty good at staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, here we are an hour earlier, and it's the worst I've ever been. But yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you sort of stepping in, just taking over that last bit. Obviously, I know the battle was pretty much locked on the GS, but that's kind of where it needed to be. That was super close, and ST was pretty much done and dusted. So thanks for the drivers to popping over onto Discord to have the interviews as well. You guys, as always. We're going to wrap the show up, and we will see you, of course, next week, I believe. Which, if I'm not mistaken, it will be for the World Series, wouldn't it? Instead, so I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to speak to Kevin whether there's actually going to be a broadcast or not. So I don't know. I don't want to say there is or there isn't at this point. So we'll see what happens. But failing that, we'll definitely be back for the sports car series as normal. But yeah, from me, from the two Tylers. Wish you a good night. Thank you very much, guys. Really, really appreciate you stepping in there. And yeah, we'll see you again next time.